the dirty. You got the good, the bad, the dirty.
What's up, my people? It's your boy Rags, and we're back with another episode of DD30 on the Dirty Network. And before we get into another juicy episode, I gotta shout out my IG page because it is going to be the spot where I start shooting my live shows. Yes, the IG live shows are coming, so make sure you follow the Dirty Network, DDTV on IG. It'll be at the end of this. All you got to do is search the Dirty Network, or you can find it on my personal IG page if you guys are following me already. Just make sure you follow either or, because that's where I'll be shooting my live shows, where I'll talk about, the hot sports topics, but I'll also talk about some parlays, some picks of the days, maybe talk about some picks that some people are playing, and, talk it out before the game start for the night. So I'm excited for the live shows. I wanted to start off by saying that the live shows are coming, so be ready for that. Make sure you come in and participate and get into the action. All right. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into some of the topics that we got. I got some great news in football. Well, I wouldn't say great news for some people, but I got some hot topics in football, especially when it comes around Russell Wilson and his benching this weekend. We're definitely going to chop that up in the dirt. And then we're going to also talk about baseball free agency getting hot. Now that Ohtani and Yamamoto, the big guys, are off the board, who's next, what to expect next, what will your favorite team do? Definitely going to talk about some free agency. And then on top of that, we're going to talk about some college football, because there's some great college football games getting ready to come up with New Year's, with the college football playoffs getting kicked off on Monday. All right, so let me be the first to tell you Happy New Year's. Enjoy the show. Sit back and relax. Oh, yeah. I forgot to say, I also have some basketball in there, too. Can't forget about basketball. We're going to talk about Ja Morant's return and what that means for the Memphis Grizzlies. So, got to talk about that. Got to put my boy Ja in the show. Almost forgot my boy. Sorry, man. Got to talk about that. So, sit back and relax. Enjoy the show. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Again, follow the IG page, because that's where the live shows are going to start off. Then we'll probably do some live shows on Facebook, and then cap it off at the end. We'll be doing more live shows on YouTube. So trying to get ways to help you guys remember to follow, because I know you guys are very busy and doing whatever you like to do. So want to get you guys involved with the live show. So make sure to check those out. All right. When we come back, we'll have the dirt.
DDTV. Let's start the show.
It's your boy Rags, and thanks for watching, and thanks for sticking with me. I hope you subscribed and did all that good stuff. So, to start off the show in the dirt, we're talking about my man Russell Wilson, and this is a hot, juicy topic this week, since we found out earlier in the week that he was being benched for backup quarterbacks Jarrett Stidham, and it is looking like Russell Wilson's time in Denver is over. All right. So wanted to talk about this topic because it's hot, and I think there's a lot of layers to cover when it comes to Russell Wilson. First, I want to talk about Russell Wilson, the player, before you even get to the person, right? Because we're talking about sports. Now, this is a guy who came out of Wisconsin, an undersized quarterback, drafted in the 4th round by the Seattle Seahawks. With his time in the Seahawks, he brung his team to 2 Super Bowls, winning one of them. Right, we all know the history of Russell Wilson. He's made some great plays. He's also benefited off of being on some teams with some great defense, right? But at the end of the day, you have to be the quarterback that gets the job done, right? I think, as you can already tell, I think Russell Wilson is getting some unfair criticism for his career, honestly. Like, I think if you pull back the curtains and look where he came from and what he has accomplished and what he's done, I think if you ask Russell Wilson from being, not a number 1 pick, not a 1st round pick, would he be happy with his career? I think he would say yes, and I think he should be happy with his career. Not only did he succeed, maybe he didn't get you the personal accolades, but he took his teams to Super Bowls. He's won a Super Bowl, right? He's got some things that people wish they had in their NFL career. He's broke the bank multiple times, right? He's got a beautiful family. I think he's done all right for himself, honestly. And I think, if I know Russell Wilson, he comes off as a very humble person. I think if you asked him, I think he would say he's very satisfied with how his career has gone. With that being said, I think when his time was done in Seattle and he went over to Denver, people were expecting a lot out of him, right? We've seen when quarterbacks have changed teams and took their pulls to Super Bowls like the Tom Brady's and the Matthew Staffords of recent memory. Denver was looking at Russell Wilson thinking that he can get the same results out of them. Of course, they start off with a good defense, yada, 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 et cetera, right? Everybody know how that went. We'll put the trade details up. People are asking, is this the worst trade of all time? Is this worse than the Herschel Walker trade? Things like that. To me, again, I think there's some good and some bad, all right? So let's say last season, right? If you look at how Russell Wilson played, he did not play well last season. It's just no way to cut it, right? For somebody who was making the money that he was making, they expected more out of him. And let's before we even get to the play, let's peel back the curtains of the contract too, because we put the contract with the player. Like, we like to see, hey, $50 million quarterbacks, they have to perform that way, right? $40 million, whatever. I know he's around that $40 million mark, right? Which was a high amount at the time it was signed. So were the expectations high for him? Yes, but at the end of the day, he knew his situation in Seattle. He was a good player with that situation. I'm going to go and make my money. I'm not going to say, hey, well, you know what, guys, I don't know if I'm the same guy anymore. Maybe you should only give me $20 million. Like, no, you're going to max out your potential. Hey, give me as much guaranteed as you can. That's why, hey, shout out to Deshaun Watson for making the 240. You can't be mad at him for getting a fully guaranteed contract. Like, you got to talk to the owners and the GM and whoever makes those decisions to give him the money, right? That's not his job to be the GM and the player, right? Give me my money. If you're going to pay it to me, pay it to me. I don't see nobody crying about the money that Daniel Jones is getting, because that is a money, you know what I'm saying? Like, he honestly should have been the one that looked at it, the situation, and be like, look, man, I know I can't do things without Saquon Barkley. We're going to probably need another number one receiver, some line help, etc. I probably don't need to be making $40 million. Give me that $25 million. I think, $25 million a year would have been fair for Daniel Jones, but no. He did what he had to do. His agent did what he had to do to max out his deal, And you can't be mad at that, right? You got to, hey, that's the GM's job to say, no. We know what your value is, right? So getting back to Russell, again, I say, hey, he should be happy with his career. 2, he's making the money. Like, hey, you're not going to reject maxing out your dollars, right? If they're going to give you a certain amount of money, you're going to get it. So the contract point doesn't make sense to me. But when it comes to the football player, last season was not the best season, right? We get that. Now, moving on to this season, everybody who's been watching football in the Denver Broncos and the whole saga play out in front of our eyes. We've seen from the jump when Sean Payton got to the Denver Broncos that he wanted to put his foot down, right? He wanted to take the team by the throat and tell them who's the boss, right? We all noticed how that went down. Some people that works on some people that doesn't work on, right? At the end of the day, when the season was going on, we seen Denver cut a lot of their veterans loose, we're speculating, but obviously there has to be push and shove from the top. Maybe these guys aren't doing what I'm expecting them to do. Maybe these guys aren't listening to me. If you're the coach, you get rid of them, right? Russell Wilson doesn't seem like a guy who would be against listening to the coach or, following directions. This whole situation bothers me because it feels like it was premeditated, right? Like, it was almost like Russell Wilson was set up to fail just because they're going to save money on the back end. Like, there's really no way around it, right? It's all money related. Like, he could get on the mic, Sean Payton, the coach, he could get on the mic and say, oh, we needed a spark, this and that and the other. the fact of the matter is Russell Wilson this year was not that bad. He was not the person holding your team back. Did he make some mistakes? Yeah, but we've seen a lot of quarterbacks make mistakes on teams, and they're still playing for their teams, and they're giving their teams chances to win. Which Denver, Denver has 7, 8 wins? Maybe I look at it, I'll put a correction, but that's good for what they got. Like honestly, I didn't expect that team to be a 10-win team winning that division with Kansas City right there, but I think they were doing good. So to bench Russell Wilson 2 weeks after, I'm not even like. Forget all the talk about your contract part. Like, that's a whole different topic. Like, that's a whole different load. Like, you're going to literally look somebody. You really think somebody's that weak enough to say, hey, I know we promised you this and that and security if you get hurt, but we want you to waive that so you could play those last 2 games for us. And, we still could cut you at the end of the season because the money's not guaranteed if you get hurt. Like, that's just when you just even say that, like, does that make sense? Like, why would I do that? Why would anybody do that, right? So, one, you feel disrespected by your organization because they're trying to get you to do some BS. 2, you're actually not playing that bad. You're making plays. You look like the old Russell Wilson. Maybe you're not the Hall of Fame. Like, people want you to play like a Hall of Famer and Patrick Mahomes. Maybe that's not you, but you're giving your team a chance to win. That's fair enough, right? Maybe your defense needs to step up a little bit more. Maybe players need to make better plays. But I've seen Russell Wilson's games. Yeah, he made some mistakes, but I've seen a lot of quarterbacks make bonehead mistakes. And sometimes it's just, hey, you snap out of it, you make the next play, right? So if you ask me, it's definitely unfair what they're doing to Russell Wilson. I think the amount of criticism he gets is a little unfair. I get it, it's football, and we just kind of, it's almost like you criticize people because you want to see them do great things. Like, we've seen Russell Wilson do amazing things in sports and football, and how he throws the football, and honestly he makes something out of nothing, but at the end of the day, every situation is not the same. He has to live and learn. This was a new situation for him. This was a new coach. This is a new everything, So those things take time. I would like to see him stay in Denver for at least 2 or 3 more years, try to work it out. But instead of going with them, they're going to try to save some money and look for the next guy. Now, again, that's always easier said than done. Let's see what Jarrett Stidham does. Let's see if he lights up. Let's just see. That's all I'm gonna say. Who knows? I'm not there in practice. I might be dead wrong, right? But let me know what you guys think about Russell Wilson and if he's being treated unfair or not. I'm excited to see what his next team would be. There's a lot of teams that definitely need him. I already talked about a team that I know the Giants would love to trade him in for Daniel Jones if they were making the same amount of money. So we'll see. It's gonna be exciting. So again, tell me how you feel. We're going to go to a real quick break and get back and talk about the next topic, which will be the MLB free agency.
It's going now. Go subscribe.
Is it blinking at the bottom, Joe?
Is it?
Hit the camera button.
All right. Thanks for watching and staying with me. I hope you enjoyed that clip. That was great. And a great topic that I just had there. Next, we're going to talk about, of course, my favorite sport, baseball. I love talking about baseball. And free agency is in full swing. It's kicked off. It's going, especially with Ohtani and Yamamoto out the way. So there are a couple of free agents that I want to center on and focus with this topic on free agency today. And it's going to be 2 big names. And the great thing about free agency this year is that we have the big market teams looking to spend some money that needs. And there's some good free agencies out there. Maybe not the top A-tier top players, but there's some really good free agents out there that can help teams. So the big money teams are looking to spend money and help their team fill some holes. And we got some free agents that are looking to capitalize on that. Now, the 2 guys I want to talk about, one, Cody Bellinger, and 2, Josh Hader, right? I'll talk about Josh Hader because I think Josh Hader will probably be off the board first, and he's looking for a big time payday, especially when we're talking about relievers. Now, Josh Hader is known as one of the premier closers in the game, left-handed reliever, electric fastball, great breaking ball off of that fastball. Well known, still younger player. I don't think he's in his 30s yet, so he's still got some bullets in the tank. Really good bullpen guy. You know, he deserves a good payday. Now, I know he's looking for something more than what Edwin Diaz has got, over $100 million. That's what I'm hearing. And again, like I said, with the big teams being in play, you ask for a lot, you know, and maybe you might get it. You know what I'm saying? So I love the tactics. Hey, man, you ask for $100 million, somebody want to throw that at you, then you take it, right? But at the end of the day, he might probably settle into what Edwin Diaz got, probably around $20 million a year type, 4-year deal, $80 million. I would see something like that for him. But let's talk about some teams. What teams would be the fit? And when it comes to paying a big-time reliever, I always think of big-time money for a reliever. You have to be a team that's kind of ready to compete, a team that's, you know, maybe a couple of pieces away. Like, for instance, I like to talk about our Red Sox. Like, I don't think it would be smart for the Red Sox to spend $100 million on a reliever right now when there's a whole bunch of holes that we need to fill, right? Like, we just signed Lucas Giolito, which, you know, I'm all right with that, I guess. You need arms. We need arms. That's one. So I'm okay with that. But I don't think spending $100 million for a reliever is a smart thing to do for the Red Sox when they need more pieces. Now, when it comes to the Dodgers, because this is the hot topic that he might be going to the Dodgers, who are planning this super team as we speak, that honestly is a great fit. You can't say that's not a good fit, especially if they're looking to spend money. They're definitely somebody who has good relievers. Evan Phillips is one of the top relievers in the game. But can they use a left-handed reliever at the end of the game? Damn right. Every team can use that. So they look like contenders to spend that type of money for Josh Hader. I would not be surprised there. And then you have the Yankees, of course. They're going to be in play. But again, I think they might spend big money on a pitcher if they wanted to go an arm route, or maybe even an additional bat, maybe like a Matt Chapman. I see Matt Chapman being a better fit for the Yankees, but again, we could talk about that later. But that being said, I think Josh Hader's market is hot right now. I've heard the Giants are in the mix as well. Again, I think the Giants need a little bit more than just a starting pitcher. Like to me, the Giants, they operate like they have like a really good team, and I get it, like they scrapped and they had a good season during the COVID season. But when you strap that 162 games on them, I don't see them competing with the lineup that they're throwing out there. And no offense to anybody, but Wilmer Flores cannot be your best hitter on your team. He just cannot, and you're not going to compete in this league. No, definitely not in that division. Where you have the Diamondbacks who just went to the World Series. You have the Padres who are angry. They're looking to bounce back. You have the Dodgers that are building the super team damn near. And then you have you guys, the Giants and the Rockies. Like, y'all might be the worst two teams in that division. So you got to be real. I think they need more than a closer, so I don't see them pulling that trigger there. So that'll be fun. I think Josh Hader, at the end of the day, it makes sense to go to the Dodgers. I guess that's the easy pick. I like what the D-backs have been doing, too. I see that being a really good fit. If the D-backs want to make a really good run and build on top of that success they had, I know they've made some moves to get Gurriel back re-signed with them. And they're doing what they have to do to compete. I believe they made an upgrade at third base again. I don't. Yeah, they traded for Eugenio Suarez. So they're making upgrades. They're making moves. I wouldn't be mad if they made a deal for Josh Hader and try to lock down their bullpen, because that's kind of where they struggled. They struggled in their bullpen. They gave a couple away at the end. And, of course, the Phillies are going to be in the mix. I think the Phillies are not afraid to spend money, and that's good for the game. That's good for them because they have a team that's ready to win. So, Josh Hader, I'm going to say at the end of the day to the Dodgers because it just sounds right. Or, honestly, maybe stay with the Padres, too. Like, the Padres wouldn't be a bad fit. You could stay there, but Dodgers probably end up with them. Now, when it comes to Cody Bellinger, and I hear Cody Bellinger is trying to break the bank as well, over $200 million, which is risky business, my friend, especially with the way you exited L.A. and played for the Dodgers 2 years ago. That was not that long ago. But got to give Cody Bellinger a lot of credit. He looked very different this year. He looked way more committed to making contact, just me watching the games, me watching him. He looked healthy. He looked spry. He looked good. He looks like he's definitely got some in the tank. I think for Cody Bellinger, though, the situation matters for him. I'm not a big fan of I can't say Chicago's not a big market, but I think the Cubs fit good for him. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that was a good team for him. Like, the expectations for the Cubs weren't extremely high. Like, they were a good team, but nobody was expecting much. They did spend a lot of money on a manager, so people are going to be looking at him a lot closer this year. So I think the Cubs would like him back. I don't know if they like him back at $200 million, but of course, if that's his tag, I think they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to give him the money because you could put him, if he stays consistent, if he's doing what he did last year, he's somebody you can definitely put in the middle of that lineup. He puts fears in pitchers because they've seen what he's done. He's taken people deep. He's a great hitter when he's locked in. So you always need that guy in that lineup that's gonna be like, hey man, we gotta be careful when we get around him because that gets other guys off. That gets the guys in front of him more pitches and the guys behind him more opportunities to drive in runs. Right. So I like Cody Bellinger in the Cubs. Of course, I'm gonna say. I know the Yankees made a lot of deals for outfielders, but Cody Bellinger can play first base. I wouldn't see anything wrong with them throwing a flyer at him. Honestly, I know the Tampa Bay Rays don't spend a lot of money in free agency, but I see that's actually a really good fit for him. I would see him being good in the middle of that lineup, especially they lost Wander Franco. They needed some more star power now. Just out the blue. Unfortunate situation for the Rays. I don't feel sorry for them. I'm a Red Sox fan. I don't care, honestly. But he is a good fit for that team. I have to say that. And the Blue Jays, teams that are in my division. Teams that missed out on Ohtani, that might want to spend money elsewhere. And again, they're not, just because they didn't get Ohtani doesn't mean like, hey, we just got $600 million laying around to give everybody. Like, no, Ohtani was different. He was special. But they can spend I was saying that $200 million is a lot for Cody Bellinger. I think he's kind of tripping with that. Like now, if you give me around 125, 150, I could work with that. Okay, but 200 might be strong. He'll get a lot of offers though. At the end of the day, somebody's gonna get him. Will he be waiting till spring training? I don't know. I hope he gets a good deal. I hope he gets a deal before then. At the end of the day, I know it's boring, but I'd like to see him go back to the team that he just played with last year, and that's the Chicago Cubs. So I'll say Chicago Cubs for Cody Bellinger. Re him up, give him 150, and just let him live there. Let him ride. But you do have to expect the downs with his ups. Make sure he's healthy. Make sure he's doing the right thing. So let me know what you guys think about baseball free agency so far. I know there's a lot of other free agents that we could talk about. Let me know some free agents that you'd like to talk about. Again, we can bring it to the live show. We could bring it here. We could bring it anywhere. All right. So that was fun. That was a great topic. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we're going to get back to the next topic, and we're going to end it with some basketball. So we got some college football left, and then we have some NBA. All right.
Subscribe now, DDTV.
All right. Thanks for watching and staying with me for another great episode of DD30, the sports talk show. And your boy Rags is back with the next topic, which is going to be college football, because the college football playoffs is finally here after a couple of weeks without college football, which is sad. Well, we've had college football, but honestly, I just keep it real. I don't really like watching those little rinky-dink teams that are playing together and just be like, we're watching football. Like, I don't really go for that. Like, I want to see like some good competition. I want to see some good players. I want to see some guys that are possibly going to go pro. That's just my preference. Again, everybody has their preference. All right, so that's what I like. I don't go to your house to tell you what to watch. All right, so I just don't watch those. So this is around the time of year that, there's no baseball. I don't know what else to watch. So I'll chill and find something else to do. But the good games are getting ready to come. Even though the Georgia and Florida State game is going to be really good, really interesting, because Georgia's going to whoop them. Let's just be real. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have to delete this part. I'm just pausing it right here because obviously I recorded this before the game started. So, that was an absolute ass whooping. Florida State should be absolutely embarrassed. Like, for them to even argue to say that they deserve to be in that top four, and anybody who said that they deserve to be in the top four, if they didn't watch that game from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, then they're the real problem. Stop telling people that they need to watch these garbage-ass games. I'm so glad Florida State was not in the top four. I'm so glad, because Georgia showed them what a real team looks like. All right? Now I'll continue. Thank you. If Florida State if Florida State makes that game close, give them credit. All right, I'll just say that. That'll be all the respect I need out of them if they make that game close. That being said, we are going to go to the playoff games. The first game being Alabama and Michigan on New Year's Day, and then you have Washington and Texas to follow that. So my opinion on the two games, I'll start with Michigan and Alabama, and I think we all know how this is going to end. Alabama has always had Michigan's number. Every SEC team has always had Michigan's number. Shoot, teams in the playoffs have had Michigan's number. They lost to TCU last year. So, do I expect much out of Michigan? No. I think they're happy to get there. Now, are they going to be motivated to beat Alabama? Maybe, yeah. But, I mean, we seen when the selection was made, they were like, dang, we got to play Alabama. And, I mean, I get it, but you supposed to be, like, up for the challenge if you're a real team. But Alabama, you know, I think they're out to prove that they belong. So that's one. That's going to motivate them. Two, of course, Nick Saban has been to multiple championships. I mean, the coaching gap is obvious. Like, who has the edge there? Who has the most experience in these situations, in these games? 100% is Alabama. Alabama just beat Georgia, the number one team in the league, right? He'll be able to get his team back ready to go even after a month off, right? So you got the edge there for Alabama. Of course, Alabama usually has the most NFL-ready talent, NFL-ready players. When you look at their games, they're a very physical team. Maybe they don't have the big name quarterback like they usually do, but Melrose has definitely been making some great plays, especially late in the season. So I'm giving Alabama the edge in quarterback too, and offense. Of course, Alabama always has some great weapons. Again, I know Michigan has a great corner, so we're gonna see him in action. I don't know his name right now, unfortunately. It's number 2. I'm sorry, but he's supposed to be a big time NFL prospect, so I'm excited to see him matched up with some great Alabama receivers and to see what the defense does as well. Because, of course, Alabama always has some great defenses. Now, when it comes to the other game, Washington and Texas, of course, I'm expecting a shootout because this seems like a shootout type game. So when it comes to that, I always like to look at the quarterback and who has the better quarterback. And we had Michael Penix Jr., who was a Heisman finalist. He's going to get the edge in quarterback for me. He actually has done some great things for his team, even being underdogs. You know, when teams were taking Oregon to win that Pac-12 championship, he was the one that brought his team to the victory. He made the plays where they needed to be made. I see him being the better quarterback in this situation, the NFL-ready quarterback. I'm expecting a big game out of him. This is going to be big for him, especially when it comes to draft day. I know he has some great weapons. He has a big time number 1 receiver who is going to be in the draft as well, Osoma. I'm excited to see him in action. I haven't really had a chance to see him with my own eyes, so definitely excited to see those two connect against a really good team in the big stage. Well, I don't want to say I didn't see them because I have watched them play like a couple games. Like I watched the USC game. So I'm excited to see Penix. I'm going to give Washington the edge in that one. And I'm expecting to see Washington play Alabama, which will be an amazing matchup in my opinion because you have a quarterback who is NFL ready playing a defense that is NFL ready. So I'd be excited to see that. I think that'll be a fun national championship. So not going to talk too much about college football. Just wanted to put my picks out there and my reasons. Again, good luck to Florida State. I hope they survive at least a little bit, but I expect Georgia to win that game, and those are the only ones I care about. Again, you let me know what you got. All right. So to end the show, I'm definitely going to talk about a little basketball because there was a return of a special player last week, Ja Morant. Now, if you're not aware of the reason why Ja Morant was suspended, he was basically caught carrying firearms, or what do they call it? Banishing a firearm, showing off a gun on his Instagram Live or his friend's Instagram Live, whatever, and he went viral. Right? One of the dumbest things you could do, if you ask me. But we're gonna get past that. So the return of Ja Morant is big for the NBA. One, it's big for the NBA fans because we love seeing Ja Morant play. He's an electric player. He's a Derrick Rose mixed with Allen Iverson. Like the athleticism, the playmaking abilities, the way he's carried his team. I mean, honestly, you just got to look at the tape. Before, when he had the 25-game suspension, Memphis was last or dead last or close to. I don't know if it was they were last or close to last. They were one of the worst teams in the NBA. Let's just say that, right? He comes back and they immediately go on a win streak. This team needs Ja Morant. Ja Morant is one of the top. If you keep the season going, he's 100% a top 10 player in the NBA, pushing that top 5. I know there's a bunch of great players, so it's hard to get in that top 5, but he's a top 10 player in the NBA for sure. He gets your team a boost. He puts butts in the seats 100%. I would not watch a Memphis Grizzly game without Ja Morant playing. Like, there's no reason to. No reason for me to watch that. I don't care who they playing or what. I don't want to watch it if Ja Morant's not playing. So he brings the buzz, he brings the cameras, he brings the electricity. All right. So the big topic in the NBA about Ja Morant's return is, well, will this springboard Memphis into a playoff position? And I'm drinking it. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm with it. I love Ja Morant's game. I love him when he's with Memphis. Like, let's say just the energy he brings. Like, you could just tell he's the leader of that team. They look for him, like he said, even after his first game. He's like, oh, no, man, I'm gonna get it down to JJ and he's gonna post. No, man, we want you to win this game for us. You know, that right there tells me they know how important he is to that team. They know that he's the leader of that team and he's gonna be the one that's gonna get them far. Now, do I see them push into the number 1 seed like they were last year? I think they were number 1 seed last year or something like that. No, I don't. But I do see them at least pushing into the play-in, possibly getting past that play-in. Maybe like a 5th seed, 4th seed, and I think they'd be happy with that. And on top of that, when Ja Morant is healthy, makes them a legitimate contender in the West, because when you look at the West, it's wide open. Now, of course, you got the Denver Nuggets who still look good. They're the defending champions. You got to knock them out. At the end of the day, the Lakers don't. The Lakers are just fun to talk about. Like, they're not that good. Like, they got LeBron, they got AD, but what else they got? They don't have nothing, right? Other teams are better than them in the West. Let's just be real. The Clippers are better than them. The Nuggets are better than them. The Memphis Grizzlies with Ja Morant is better than the Lakers. The Kings are better than the Lakers. Like, there's so many teams that are better than the Lakers. Like, the Pelicans, when they're healthy with Zion, and when Zion's committed and they got Brandon Ingram, they're a good team. They're a hard team to beat. So the West is going to be very tough. I think Ja Morant definitely puts that foot in the water. He's gonna mix it up a little bit. He's gonna put another championship contender in the mix with the Memphis Grizzlies, and I'm excited to see it. I think NBA is better when Ja Morant's playing. I mean, you can't keep your eyes off of him. He's catching lobs, he's making great passes, he's finishing layups off of 3 people, like off the wrong foot. Like, it's amazing the things that he could do. So I'm excited to see that in the West. Memphis, big ups to them for sticking with Ja Morant. And then, like, I know nobody's gonna listen to this. Who cares what I say? But, man, I'm just a big fan of you. Just keep playing, man. Keep playing. Everything else will take care of itself. You know, you're still young. You still got a big future ahead of you. Like, this is just the beginning for you. Like, you could be known as one of the top point guards of all time, especially if you keep on doing what you've been doing on the court, man. There's nothing wrong with your game, man. Keep doing what you're doing. All right. Now, with that being said, it's been a great time talking with you guys. I've had a fun episode of DD30. Again, I want to end the show by reminding you guys to follow the IG page. It's The Dirty Network, DDTV. Just like that, you can find it on my IG page if you follow me, Bilal Ragland. I have the Facebook page. Of course, we have the YouTube page. But most importantly, follow me on the IG, because that is where I will be starting the live shows. If you're not there, you won't be able to participate. So get in there, because I'm most excited to talk about some parlays, talk about some bets, maybe get you guys some guaranteed game props, because I be studying, I be doing my thing. So I'm gonna help you guys make a little money on top of that, and have fun talking sports with you guys. So thanks for watching. Thanks for doing what you've done. It's your boy Rags, and I'm out. It's your network, DDTV.
The good, the bad, the dirty, how you live. You got the good, the bad.